Hey guys, Deslater Magic here, and it's time for another overlooked but awful card. Hey, wait a minute, wasn't it overlooked but awesome? No, I'm not going to call this card awesome. This card can go die for all I care. It is now my mission in life to find every single copy of this card and burn it. I would dare say that if this isn't the most self-contained broken card in all of Magic, then it's for sure in the top 5. Now, this isn't quite self-contained broken, where you just play it by itself, doesn't need anything else, it's just broken, but it's pretty darn close. Now, as far as how overlooked this is, well, it's not legal in Modern, so it's off of most people's radar, and it was from, it was a rare in Vintage Masters, which kind of outlines how broken it was, and it was from Urza's Legacy, which was, just a while ago. I'm, of course, talking about Palinkron. I'm sure I don't even need to explain this. It's a 7-cost 4/5 flying illusion, but it's not the type of illusion you're thinking. If you target it with a spell, it doesn't instantly die, as far as I know. When Palinkron enters the battlefield, untap up to 7 lands, which is, exactly what you just spent on casting it, and then for 4, you can return it to its owner's hand without tapping it, so it bypasses Summoning Sickness. Hey, have you figured out the infinite loop yet? 'Cause I have. Now, the completely ridiculous old school way to do it would be to have, 5 of this type of land, Azorius Chancery. It just literally is a land that taps for 2, simple as that. I feel like there's another land that taps for 2, but nothing comes to mind immediately. But if you had 4 Chanceries and, one of a similar one, you could untap all of them and then retap them for 10. For the 5 you did plus 2, which would be 12, and 2 would be, just any other basic land or whatever. Then you could bounce it back to hand again for 4, which would drop you down to 8, recast it for 7, untap those 7 lands, the 5 that tap for 2 and the 2 that just tap for 1, and then you've got +1 mana every time. Do it an infinite amount of times, infinite mana. Now that's a little out there. I mean, would you really have 5 of these on the field at once? I mean, there's probably better things you could do with the mana. Now, I'm not a land expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know that if you have Nykthos trying to Nyx out there, you just won the game. You've got infinite mana, simple as that. Assuming you just have a moderate amount of blue devotion on the field, you could just tap it, untap Nykthos, bounce it, summon it, bounce it, summon it, bounce it, summon it. I mean, it wouldn't even take that much. I'm sure there are other lands that tap for multiple that I'm forgetting, or some kind of land that every time it taps or untaps you do something or whatever. So yeah, this is not a friendly card. It is infinite mana in card form. You could also cycle it without +1 mana. You could do it exactly even if you have any kind of ETB trigger. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, then do this. And whatever it is, you could do it a limitless amount of times, assuming you could come up with the mana. Now, if you were somehow able to cast Palinkron at a discount, make it cost 2 less or something, that would be even easier to pull off an infinite combo. You could also clone him an infinite amount of times. I mean, it's ETB, not on cast. It's just not good. I mean, there's probably 15 different ways at least to just do an unlimited combo that never ends and gets you unlimited mana, unlimited life, unlimited damage to the enemy. I mean, it's just so broken. It's just so broken. But it costs 7. If something costs 7, you should probably win the game with it. Yeah, so I think it is appropriate. If this costs 3 or something, oh my god, would it be banned already? So yeah, I mean, an infinite loop that costs 7, that's not really ideal, especially in Vintage. I mean, I don't know that much about Vintage and Legacy, but 7, I mean, it's not that hard to just generate an absurd amount of mana like Charbelcher, for example, but it's a little bit harder than generating 2 mana, for example. So I don't really know what type of decks this would end up in, but the fact that they made it a rare in Vintage Masters means it's probably pretty good. So I would love to see what the best, combo would be with this. What are some better lands to use it with than Nykthos? And, maybe there's a show and tell combo or something crazy. I'm sure there's some wacky stuff out there because this card is insane. So watch the skies for Palinkrons, and I'll see you guys next video.